as promised, today we are going to go into the Dreamblood Duology by N.K. Jemisin. So that is The Killing Moon and The Shadowed Sun. Beautiful books. Like, if you need more reason than a cover to buy it, I guess I'll keep talking, but like, really, guys, it's beautiful. So yeah, what are you going to get in this duology by N.K. Jemisin? Well, per usual, her standard amazing world building. You have this world based on Egypt. So it's based off basically Egyptian ancient healing, the healing of the four humors, and she does this through really, really cool dream magic, okay? And this dream magic you get to learn kind of piecemeal through these two books. So this dream magic is mainly used for healing, but the way you acquire the tools in the dream magic to heal is done in several different ways, and it is so cool. You also have politics here, so if you are a political fantasy reader, you have these two areas. You have Gujare and Kasua. They culturally have a similar religion, but they have vastly different approaches to that religion, and that causes tension that you get to explore in these two novels. You also have nomadic barbarian people that you will get introduced to and explore. So if any of these are buzzwords for you, it has really cool magic, it's Egyptian based, so if you're like me and really loving desert based fantasy lately, it's really good. And you have politics, which I think is done really well. It's not going to beat you over the head. It's not super complex, but it is very much full of intrigue. And actually, both of these books have very, very mysterious stories where you're going to be asking yourself, what's happening? Most of the time, which is one of my favorite things. I like a story to leave me with questions, but also give me some answers along the way. I like that whole, hey, here's this mystery. Do you want to find out? Come with me. I like that. That is a thing I love. Now, I say all that, there is a caveat that I think I say with most Jemisin books, is that the world building is intricate, it is well thought out, but it is also not necessarily given to you in a way that maybe will jive with how your brain processes data. It can, it cannot, it's a very person by person thing. I personally really like slow, drawn out world building where I am looking at it through the eyes of the characters, and I maybe don't have as much knowledge as the characters, but through the characters' interactions with the world, I learn more. I like that. I had friends when we read this who did feel kind of out of it for the first 30 to 50 pages, and they are fantasy readers. It's not like this was their first fantasy book. So it's definitely complex in the sense that it's not spoon-fed to you, but it has a really, really good glossary that does not spoil key points of the book from what I could tell. So if you read a term and you don't want to wait for context clues to tell you, that term is in the back of the book. I personally like waiting for it to be told to me because I do trust Jemisin. She will tell me what it means eventually if I pay attention, but she also won't make me, which is, I also really appreciate. I actually like going through the glossary at the end to be like, figuring out the world building I missed. It's really, really cool. So with that aside, let's get into some details about the book. All of this will be spoiler free, much to my chagrin, because I would really love to discuss The Shadowed Sun with you guys with spoilers. But I also know not many people have read The Shadowed Sun, so really I don't know who I'd be talking to, who I haven't already talked to about it already. So let's get into The Killing Moon. So that's the first one. It's my least favorite of the two, but it's still a 4-star read for me. And in this one, you're going to have Ihiru, Najiri, Tsunandi, and the prince, who I am blanking on his name, but there is an important prince character. And they are all really interesting to follow. So Ihiru and Najiri are part of the Hetawa. So this is kind of the main religion. These are the people who use the dream magic to heal others in Gujare. Ihiru is a gatherer. This is a person who, either through a voluntary tithe or through judgment of corruption, will take someone's last dream and that causes them to then die. So sometimes it's done, like I said, through justice. You are corrupt, you will die, and then we will use what is called Dreamblood from your dying dream to help heal others. Also, if you hear scratching in the background, that is my cat choosing to scratch his tree, which is behind this camera. And you also have Nijiri, who's a gatherer apprentice. So you get to see gathering from the side of learning it and through a master. And you also get to go into the ethics of it, because Ahiru has a very interesting journey and arc through this story. Tsunandi is an ambassador from Kasua to Gujare, so you get that political tension. You get her trying to understand a culture she cannot fathom. She does not understand gathering at all. I mean, I think most of us wouldn't, but in this area, Gujare, gathering is seen as normal. It's seen as important. It's seen as righteous, but it's killing people. So that's really interesting. The prince is phenomenal. I really don't know how to describe the prince. He's just a really fun character to follow. And I will also say that the antagonist of this book is one of the more interesting antagonists that I have ever read, and I'm not going to talk about more details than that, but if you like an interesting villain, I really like it. And I love the mystery in this story. The mystery in this one is people are being killed, and there's no real understanding to why, and it's not gathering. There are these unexplained deaths that are happening, and we need to figure out why, and this needs to happen without increasing the tensions between Kasua and Gujare to prevent war, because another thing about Gujare is that it is a land that values peace and harmony. You are not supposed to cause conflict. Everything is meant to be peaceful for the area to thrive. It's really, really interesting. Now, that story was really great, but I love The Shadowed Sun. And I can't go into a lot of the reasons I like it without spoiling the first book. But what I can say is it has one of my favorite female characters of all time. So Hanani. So she is a sharer. So in the Hetawa, you have gatherers, but you also have the healers, who are called the sharers. Traditionally, this is only a male profession, but Hanani is the first female to become a sharer, and she is really good at it, but she's also treated poorly because of it. And her journey to be true to her passion to heal, but also be true to what she defines as feminine for herself, is astounding in this story. She's also responsible for trying to help her town. Well, not town, but the city-state. But because of the events in the first book, there is more political tension, and she is set on a journey to try and help bring peace to her area. You also have Wanahoen, who is a character I can't talk about a lot, but he is part of this barbarian clan, and he has vested interest in the goings-on of Gujare, and man, was he a character I accidentally fell in love with. I did my mid-year freak-out tag before filming this review, and on that, there's a question that says, most recent crush, and I don't get crushes on people in my books. I think I'm too aware that they're fake. But I love Wanahoen a lot. And I'm surprised by that, because he is a flawed character, like incredibly flawed. And that's another thing. I just love the character work in The Shadowed Sun, more so than the Killing Moon that Jemisin brings to the table here. I just really, really enjoy it. You also have a storyline with, I think her name's Tianette, and she is in not a great situation. I think most of the trigger warnings I would give for this book would be with this character. There is sexual abuse, there's just domestic abuse. She goes through a lot, but she's also at the center of the mystery for this book. Because this book, there is a dream plague. Like, before this, dreams have only ever been associated with healing, but there is a dream that is spreading from person to person, and if you catch this dream, you fall into a nightmare sleep that if you can't wake up from it, and it probably will kill you. And this is this mystery, and we know it's around this household, but we don't know how. So, yeah, those are the premises of The Shadowed Sun, if any of that speaks to you. I think I've already mentioned it, but this story has one of my favorite romances ever. It's like slowest of slow burn romances, but I love how it's handled. I love the agency in it. I love how adult it is. It is a very adult relationship. And I haven't even talked about so many characters I love in this story, but this story is so good. And if you can't tell, both of these stories are the same world, but they're about 10 years apart. You do need to read The Killing Moon before you read The Shadowed Sun, but don't expect characters from the Killing Moon to play a major role in the Shadowed Sun. They will be there, but they won't play this huge role. So that's a caveat I will give. But man, did I love the new characters in the Shadowed Sun. I loved the extended world building. I loved the commentary on gender and gender roles in society. Again, Jemisin did it. She gave me a story that I loved to consume just from entertainment, but then added on so many great layers. So that's what I have. If I haven't convinced you that this needs to be on your TBR, that's okay, because honestly, it's not for everyone. I mean, no book is for everyone. But I really liked it, and if you like Jemisin's authorial voice, if you've read The City We Became or The Fifth Season, I would read these. I also would say that unlike the Inheritance trilogy and the Broken Earth trilogy, where she does play around with some narrative structure, this is more straightforward storytelling in terms of... You understand what I'm saying if you've read the other works. It is not as... I would say it's similar to The City We Became in terms of the narrative structure choices she makes for these works. But yeah, if you have read these, let me know in the comments. Put any spoiler tags if you do talk about the books in spoilers, but I will talk about this all the time. If you have Voxer, we can voice chat about it. I love these books. Yeah, other than that, like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.